Good morning and welcome to week 6. It's time to write another essay. After a week last week of reading those essays from Giffords, we've now moved on to essay number 2. And just like we did in week 3, we're going to write the first draft of the essay Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. On Friday, that is due in the discussion board, and then the peer review can start, and the peer review is due then on Sunday by 11:30 p.m. Just a little heads up, the peer review is worth 40 points this time. It's a little bit longer. It's going to take more time, and so the points are going to be added to that. You're going to be required to write about 25 new sentences or 25 ideas, between 22 and 25 ideas for the reader who wrote the essay, the one who's reading your peer review. Okay, so remember, peer review is for you as a peer reviewer more so than it is for the writer that you're reading, your partner. Okay, so read essay prompt number 2 and complete the first draft by Friday, and then peer review your partner's paper over the weekend. Now, you have 2 choices this time of essay prompts. The first one says, consider the local music scene as Giffords does throughout the book. Identify a local band or performer who you would consider to be undiscovered gold. What makes them so great? Why have they not been discovered? Consider Giffords' essay, House Rockers and Trapped in a World That They Never Made. When writing this essay, if they have original music, you should quote from their work. If you can also put a link up in the essay to maybe a web page, kind of add to that composition. Okay? Local music group. It doesn't have to be Akron local. It could be wherever you're from local. But it has to be local, and they have to be undiscovered gold. So in other words, they can't have been discovered. So if you're from Akron and you say Devo, that wouldn't be right. Okay. The second one is in Apartment X. Giffords writes, every American city is defined by its water. For Akron, it was the canal. Think about your hometown and what else it can be defined by. Describe your hometown based on this definition. How would your city change if this defining thing was removed? Think about the past. Now, that first part we've done a lot of, right? We already wrote, I believe for Wednesday, we wrote that. Maybe for Friday. I forget. Or Sunday, I mean. But we've already thought about this. Now, what adds to it? Think about the past, pre-1980s or when you were born. Research your hometown to discover what defined your hometown then. And then I want you to juxtapose, which means put them together. And with then and now. Is it different? Is it the same? How do these 2 definitions change your idea of what your hometown is in 2017? Okay? So in that one, you're going to look at the past, you're going to look at the present, and then you're going to create this definition of a current definition of your hometown. All right? So really work on that. That one's a little bit harder than the first one if you're familiar with undiscovered gold. But either one, every semester, it seems that most students gravitate toward that second one. Okay? If you use sources, you must cite them. Okay? If you use sources, you must cite them. And the second part of that is it has to be at least 5 pages long. For most of you on the first essay, you got to page 5, a full 4 pages. For some of you, you didn't. Okay, you were a page or 2 short. When I say 5 full pages, I mean get to the first line on page 6 at a minimum. Okay? All right, 5 pages on either undiscovered gold in music or defining your hometown. The draft should be a full 5 pages. Right. It doesn't have to be good. It just has to be there. Okay? Revision doesn't start until you get to that minimum page number. We talked about that already. Okay? Think about openings. Think about a thesis or a theme. Textual or non-textual support. Support what you're saying. If you're saying that your hometown is defined by water, give examples of that water and what that water does for your hometown. Effective structure, analysis, not summary, strong closing. All right? So, peer review. I said that you're going to have to write some original things. You're basically going to start thinking about and rewriting some of your partner's essay. It's part of peer review. And then you'll be able to practice on you're practicing on your partner's essay, and then you'll be able to revise your own. Okay, this is basically what it's all about. This is what revision is taking something and rewriting it, something you've already written, and redoing it better or differently. Okay, partners, I've changed some, not all. Okay, it had nothing to do with whether or not you were good or you're not good. It just had to do with a couple things that I saw in the peer review. Okay, so the partners are Amanda and Whitney, Adriana and Bailey, Jacob and Catherine, or Katie, McKenna and Riley, Vershawn and Alec, Casey and Elizabeth, George and Sarah Hicks, Matt, Kane and Emily Miller, and Austin and Emily Motes. Okay, now listen. It's worth 40 points. It's worth 4 homework assignments. Okay, it's worth really 2 discussion page assignments. All right. If you don't turn in your original draft, you get a 0 right off the bat. So even if you peer review, you get a 0. Turn in your draft. Then, when you peer review, I'm going to look at specifically number 2, number 4, and number 5. That's when you're going to write at least 22 sentences. Number 1 says, how many pages, just count them up. Then it says rewrite the opening paragraph, like from scratch. Read what they wrote and then rewrite the opening paragraph, at least 8 sentences minimum. And then, depending on the essay prompt selected, does the paper identify the music or what is the current definition? Then on number 4, in the bulk of the essay, the big stuff, not the opening, not the closing, the big stuff. Rewrite 6 sentences, choose 6 sentences, and change the verbs. In order to rewrite those sentences, in order to change those verbs, you need to rewrite the sentences. Okay, it's not just a matter of changing the to be verb to something else. Rewrite the sentences, 6 of them. Then in number 5, just like you did in number 2, you're going to rewrite the closing. Take everything that they have said, including your opening, and rewrite the closing. 8 sentences minimum. Okay? To get all 40 points, you have to do all of that. Then, does the author include dialogue? If you don't, and it's necessary, you should. Citations, works cited page, if you need it. And then look for 6 grammar or punctuation rules. As I've been grading the first essay, there are a lot of grammar punctuation errors. We need to be able to identify those in somebody else's paper in order to identify those in our paper. All right, so identify 6. I guarantee you we can find 6. Okay. So 40 points on the peer review. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, next week I will not be in the office on Thursday and Friday, so office hours are canceled on Friday. All right. Any questions? Let me know.